Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
I still remember Pearl Jam laying into that track at their Winnipeg show. It was their first show, because I'm terrible with years, but it was their first show after Bell MTS Center went up. Do you remember, Joe? I mean, Kirby, sorry, but you won't remember this because you weren't here. Right after we got, I guess it would have been True North Center at the time, a whole influx of concerts, just like ba-bang, 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 bands we hadn't seen in years, like Pearl Jam and Green Day, and it just was big show after big show.
Yeah, big feast that year. Sometimes you go through one of those famine years with concerts. I'd say this one's pretty good. I mean, Neil Young and Crazy Horse are going to be here at the ballpark.
That's a cool venue, I gotta say.
You know, I've never been to a concert there, but when I see pictures, when there's a show there, I'm like, oh, that looks, because, you know, it's a nice night. You get the downtown skyline and everything else. A lot like the Bird Block Party. It just looks so cool in that area of town. Yeah,
we love our outdoor shows, so let's hope for the weather we talked about a couple of minutes ago, right? There just seems to be rain or a suggestion of rain every day in the forecast.
Well,
you said yesterday you didn't see any rain in your area, and yet on Facebook this morning I was seeing a few people telling me in the Crescentwood area they got hit pretty good last night, but nothing in St. Boniface, which came up. So some areas are going to get hit and some not, but there is another thunderstorm warning today.
I just carry my umbrella with me every day now because I'm just like, I'm prepared
like the penguin.
For anything.
Like the penguin, wasn't that? Yeah, Kirby's the penguin from the Batman movies, because the penguin carted around an umbrella. That was his weapon of choice.
That's right.
It was a weapon.
Well,
Kirby.
What did it do?
Contraptions and stuff on it, right? It was like
extra contraptions. You're right. It was like the original Gadget guy there or whatever.
Go Gadget.
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget.
And it was an umbrella.
Of all the weapons. Wow. Oh, my God. What? Don't mess with the penguin. Why? He's got a magic umbrella. He'll stab you with it.
See, I think of Mary Poppins when I think of like an umbrella.
No,
you know
there's
what
another
I mean?
good umbrella.
She's up and away.
Reference.
And you're just using it as an accessory then? Or just
at this point.
Ready
to go in case it starts to rain, you know.
In case.
Stonewall got hit pretty good last night, somebody just said on the Boston Pizza text line. So I think you're going to get a lot of that this summer. Some regional rainstorms.
We need some heat. Like, I want some heat. Enough of, and I'm not a big heat guy. You know
that doesn't come from you very often.
No, look at the pasty white skin. I'm not, it's just some warmer weather, whether that's 26, 27, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
No, Joe,
well, there's one blip in the forecast. Friday looks hot, if you like it, sunny and 28 with sunshine. Otherwise, the hot is going to be the Humidex, 25 today. So it's going to be muggy.
We got to get your umbrella rigged up like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, that'd be cool, Kirby.
Self-defense and...
well, I thought about accessorizing it with some, maybe gems or something, but never a weapon.
They're hard enough to close, and now you want to add contraptions.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Ever feel like no one's listening? We've got your back. Call the Bone phone, 780-BONE. Brought to you by Auto Gallery of Winnipeg.
For all you people complaining about construction, it's summer. It's Winnipeg. That's what happens here. Leave earlier so you're not late.
Yeah.
Or find a different route. I get it sucks, but guess what? It's a necessity. That's the only way these potholes get fixed. And thank you for the crews that are out there fixing roads and stuff. Be safe, be well, and thank you for doing what you do. And a not so big thank you to the governments that are underfunding our streets, and that's why they're shitty and crumbling. Thank you. Have a great day. Let's go Big Blue.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little 180 on the usual construction complaints and pothole complaints.
Still got that little left jab in, though, at the end.
Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, he's a gooder. Moving on, T. Kona, speaking of gooders, you had a story in the news yesterday about snow clearing coming in, the budget coming in over budget.
Yes.
You know who ain't buying it? T. Kona.
Good morning, it's T. Kona. Heard you guys talk about on the news, somehow our snow budgets were over $10-point-something million on their budget for last year, which is a crock of shit. I don't know how in the hell they think they're over budget. They just can fudge the numbers just like any government, right? No way. And the Edmonton Oilers suck shit. They're resorting to dirty tactics because once they start losing, they get really dirty. Done in 5. Have a good day.
So he's talking about the Draisaitl hit on Barkov.
Mm-hmm.
He's not buying the butt.
Well, there's a lot of people that had their kind of eyebrows up on that story because we just had a pretty good winter as far as snow-wise, right?
Was
we
odd.
had more later than we did earlier, but
But there was specifically a lot spent in the month of January because we had a couple of events during that month.
Yeah, but Kirby, we have winters, and I'll admit, I mean, I don't know how budgets work, but when I heard the story, much like T. Kona and some of the people it sounds like you talked to as well,
Yeah.
went, what? We barely had a winter. Like, we did have some snow here and there, but we've had winters where there's storm after storm after storm.
Right.
it's kind of like budgeting at home and going, whoa, how we didn't put enough away for groceries this month. Like it's something that happens every time. So it was just kind of,
This caller here had a unpleasant experience in traffic.
This is to the old man who was on Osborne in his car who decided to spit on my hood because I was not even in his way. I was a little bit over because traffic was bad and the turning light turned off, so I backed up. Obviously not good enough for him. He came by and spit on my car.
Wow.
He's lucky that I couldn't turn around because I probably would have chased him and had a few words with him. But seriously, what is wrong with people in Winnipeg?
That's uncalled for.
Who does such a thing?
that is uncalled
Spits on a vehicle.
the old man in Osborne Village. That's who.
Shaking his fist at her. Yeah, get out of here, young lady.
Take this.
It's just such a weird.
I want to hear him telling that story later on in the day. I spit on her hood.
Spit right on her hood.
That guy must have been really good as a kid with the spitballs or something like.
Okay, yesterday we had a guy call in, a mechanic who has a really nice car, it sounded like, but he was really mad about...
Oh, he was mad.
Yeah, he was mad. The hooligan wants to respond.
I'd like to comment on that guy. I guess his name is now the mechanic. To be honest with you, I can't remember what his call was about, traffic or driving. But the thing that intrigued me was he said, well, I'm a mechanic and I'm the guy that charges $15,000 to repair. I mean, 15. What's your hourly rate, buddy? Like $3,000? Like, you know, I never heard of a repair job unless you're getting a new engine and transmission. Like, what the hell? Like, how much is your brake job and your tune-up? Like, that sounds a little ridiculous. I understand people get mad. Like, I get hot-headed and you say things that don't make sense. But I mean, that's way out of the ballpark. $15,000. I charge $15,000, and then I got loud fucking mufflers. You know, I'm that fucking mechanic. He had a mouth stroke on that one. Oh, it's good that you name your shop, buddy, because nowhere I'd be going there. That's for sure.
I can't. Oh my God, I'm crying.
I'm guessing they're high-end imports at those prices.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
No one knows. Queens of the Stone Age. How does that happen? No one knows.
Nobody knows.
92.1 City. Winnipeg's rock station. Philly Joe and Kirby at 6:42.
Funny that you mentioned that. I was just reading up on the Brady Oliveira situation. Will he play in Ottawa tomorrow? We know Kenny Lawler's out for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
He's out like
And,
6 weeks or something.
Yeah, and it looks like Brady will be pretty much a game-time decision. The Bombers aren't letting out any information as of right now.
So sorry.
I didn't know he was that banged up.
Well, yeah, I was out of town. So
Yeah.
he played in the opener, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Our offense was really out of sync. Those two pieces missing. You're going to really need guys to step up in Ottawa tomorrow night.
I'm going to throw it out here. I'm not worried. And I'm going on some different conversations that I had. You got Coach O'Shea there. You got Kyle Walters. There's still some the key veterans there. Big Hill's going to come back. This team might be a little bit like some struggles early in the season where we're like, oh boy, like who knows? Come out of the gate, say the first 9 games, 5-4, 4-5, something like that. But then, and Joe, usually you're the one with the predictions, the gut feeling, and I got to say, your batting average with these predictions is crazy, very good. But I'm just going to say they'll struggle that first 9, and then they're going to come second half and look out. That's when they're going to get hot.
Plug some holes, fill some pieces. Kirby's looking forward to the Friday after because that's when they're back in town. Mm-hmm. You don't watch road games. Well, you don't really watch home games unless you go to the event.
Wow.
You don't watch
Well, no,
road games.
but really,
you don't.
You don't even watch the games on TV, but you like going to a game. You're like my wife, to be honest. Like, she goes to a game because it's just like getting out, having a cold beer and some
I'm
peanuts
there
or
to
something.
party.
Yeah.
You
That's
keep
what-
track of the score through the cannon. That we've talked about that before.
That's why the cannon is the greatest thing ever.
You know Bombers aren't doing well because you haven't heard.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's how I know.
You're not the only one.
Yeah, a lot of people
The
keep
slogan
track.
is, it's the biggest party. Mm-hmm. Right?
So it's like a giant social with football going on the field, and there's like, 3/4 of that building is hardcore in there to watch the game, but then you got the party crowd too.
Well, I had a buddy call me from Toronto last week, and he's originally from here, but he's been gone so long, he doesn't realize how popular that Rum Hut area is because he goes, they announced the crowd at like 30,000, but like these people are absent fans. I said, no, they're just partying on the other side. And I said, listen, the game wasn't that great. There was more and more of them, right? Heading over to that side. A lot of people don't realize how big the party is inside the stadium.
You can't walk through there. It's elbow to elbow, man.
I'll never forget the man who was missing a flip-flop, who was just living his best life in the Rum Hut area. I don't know where his shoe was,
And
but
he didn't
it didn't
care.
stop him.
No, it doesn't.
And I I thought that was great.
I will tell you
So-
that. There's a 50-50 chance that gentleman right there went back the next day to see if there was a lost and found to get his flip-flop. 50-50 chance.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
This new Utah NHL franchise, of course, formerly the Arizona Coyotes. So at the draft combine, the NHL draft is coming up like almost right after the season, the Stanley Cup final ends. So what they do is these teams, we have the combine and then they interview these prospective players, like the prospects, to see, just in case the guy, they want to see what his character's all about. So they sit him down and they ask a whole bunch of tough questions about life. What do you do in your spare time? How often do you work out? Yada, yada, yada. So the Utah is in the news because of some of the questions they are asking. And we've heard of NFL teams asking goofy questions before. So this isn't a first. But so this is a couple of questions Utah is asking. They're asking for the players' Snapchat scores, and they also want to know what their Uber rating is. Now, I don't know. I don't have, as far as I know, I don't use Uber. So I don't have an Uber rating, and I most certainly don't have a Snapchat score.
Oh, boy.
So
I just tried calling Phil on Snapchat as a joke. He didn't even answer. I'm sitting 2 feet away from
Do you
him.
even know how to call people
It was
on
an accident.
Snapchat?
It was an accident.
Do you have Snapchat, Joe?
Oh, I've had it for years. Phil just
Oh
joined
my
8 weeks
God.
ago because it just showed me that we became friends on Snap. Is that what you call them?
I
friends?
can't believe that you both are on Snap
Well,
and I ditched it.
Hold on. Snapchat's asking if I would like them to access my contacts. Do I want that, Kirby?
Oh boy.
Your score. Will that help his score?
I would say no.
Don't allow?
Say no, because then you're going to get a lot of invites from the people that do have Snap.
Can't
in
even
their
get one of my
contacts.
best friends answer a Snapchat call. He's 2 feet away.
I don't know how to answer my
Joe,
Snapchat.
You don't use Snap for calling, okay?
I
Use
know,
your
it was an
phone.
accident.
Okay.
But anyway, this
So-
Utah question, that's crazy.
So what are they trying to determine? If I could, I'm going to guess they're trying to determine how much time with the Snap thing, how much time they spend on their phone.
Well, it's called a Snap score, to my knowledge, and it's like you got to keep your Snap score up with certain people. Like the whole premise is like days in a row that you snapped each other is how you accumulate that score.
Okay, but the question here is, what does it tell a hockey franchise about your personality?
Well, it just means
That
that
you're
you're like
consistent?
you have a consistent Snap score of like whatever. The Uber rating,
Just
like
a second. Sorry. Before you go to the Uber rating, I think they're trying to see if your face is stuck in your phone all the time with the Snap score. Is that what could that be? Because would you
Well,
have
yeah. I'm wondering what kind of, they're looking like if they want to see your Facebook. They want to see what kind of person you are, I think.
If they
Can you
really
tell
want
that from
that-
Snapchat?
yeah, well,
Personality
not really.
in that? Because it goes, right? They just keep...
My little trick on if you really want to see if
Well,
somebody's a
this
good
is the
person.
Utah-
Here we go. The trick for all you.
This is when I go creeping. Okay, when I go creeping on somebody on social
Okay.
media, you look at who they follow.
Well, maybe
Instagram.
that's what they want to know.
The accounts they follow.
I think they want to know if you live on your phone. Do you have a life outside of your phone?
That's
Maybe.
valid as well.
Now, that's just my, I mean, who knows? But and then what about the? They just want to see if you're a good person when you take an Uber. Your Uber rating?
Well, it's funny that Uber drivers will give you a rating after they drop you off. Because, like, you, the rider, has to give them a rating as a driver. But yes, you get rated on your, like, what kind of passenger you are.
Okay. This is interesting because
I have Uber, and I looked it up, and I've taken 166 trips with Uber. And I have a 4.9 rating.
Whoa.
Somebody on the Boston Pizza text line, I'm 5 stars on Uber. It's a badge of honor. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of using Uber when I travel to the States. And the reason is because at least the cab companies down there are owned by companies. The drivers are drivers. They don't own the cabs. So if something happened, like an accident, who am I suing when it comes to Uber? I'm the guy in the Honda that just picked me up. At least with the cab company, I'm suing a company. I'm suing Uber as well, but I think the way they handle their drivers, like the prices range all the time too. So I don't know, just something I do.
I used it a lot when I was in Vegas. I got picked up in a Tesla every single time.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have a Uber rating then?
Well, I've used it a couple of times, but then they just start sending you a bunch of crap about ordering food from Uber. Right? You get a lot of crap emails from them once you've used them.
Yeah. I'm surprised I don't have a 5-point rating because I'll tell you, those conversation skills with those drivers.
Well, I was just going to say, you probably talked.
We have live chat.
That's probably what knocked your rating down a little bit. That poor driver one day was like, get out of my car.
You got to know sometimes what the weight of conversation was. Was it more about you? Was it more about them?
Oh, I always interview
Did you
them.
just ask her?
I know the answer to that question.
About her? We know who it's about when you talk to Kirby.
Are you kidding me? I could tell you these life stories about these drivers I met in Vegas, okay?
Would You Rather Wednesday coming up.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Would you rather get a large tattoo of someone you don't like on your back or work for a boss you hate your whole life?
I was supposed to get tattooed yesterday and I got bumped. I was excited.
Good sidebar.
I would get tattooed with somebody that I didn't like because honestly, working for somebody that affects my mental health, not my vibe.
Yeah, it's most people, wouldn't want to work for someone they hate their whole lives. I mean, that's such a huge part of your life. I could see that.
Yeah,
I get
and at
the
least with
tattoo.
the tattoo, it wouldn't be the first one I've had to get covered up.
That's
so
right. Yeah.
I'm going to go with the boss. I've worked with a couple of people I didn't like working for over the years.
And you're pretty
And
diplomatic.
I thought I got away with that. And that's not a forever thing because sooner or later, you're going to retire. That tattoo's there forever.
I hate this guy. He's on your back.
I hate this guy. He's been on my back for years. Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather, Kirby, have 4 feet or 4 hands?
4 hands. I've always said that I could use more hands.
Yeah.
When I carry groceries, I like to do one trip. And I'm always carrying a lot of things. So I think it would be easier. Plus, shoes are expensive. To buy an extra pair just to put on my feet, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
4 feet or 4 hands, Joe?
Hands. I'm Italian. I talk with my hands all the time. 2 more aren't going to hurt.
You're going to look like a windmill.
Think of how fast you'd be with 4 feet, though. You'd be hauling ass wherever you got to go.
Yeah.
like a little centipede.
Yeah.
2 would get in the way, I think.
All right. Would you rather, Kirby, show up at work with a giant hickey on your neck or show up at work with lipstick all over your face and neck and, big hickey that I guess you could wear a turtleneck.
Right.
Or the lipstick everywhere.
Either way, it's going to be a hell of a story from
Right?
Kirby.
Yeah. Either way, you're hearing about it.
She talks about the Uber driver when she's in the car.
Yes.
Okay, not herself.
I would probably go with a hickey.
Big hickey?
Because, lipstick all over the place is it's messy.
How do you not look at that and go, I gotta clean that up?
That
was a wild night.
Sorry, guys. I just got back from a hardcore makeout sesh.
Yeah.
A hickey's at least more explainable, isn't it? Because, probably most of us have been there at some point or close enough to a hickey story, but the lipstick all over the face, like you're not like a pop star idol, that's walked through a crowd or something. So
That's right.
Let's go with the old school. Let's go hickey.
The high school hickey on the neck that you got to hide. Okay.
Wait, sorry,
Just
somebody
before
just
grad,
said
in your grad pictures.
how much louder Kirby would walk with 4 feet.
Oh, God, yeah. I could hear it coming from
Wow.
8 blocks away. We didn't call it loud walking. We call it, didn't we call it authoritative walking?
Yeah. I walk with authority, as you say.
Yeah. Wrap up with this one. Would you rather, Kirby, poop your pants in public once a year for the rest of your life?
Oh, my God.
Or pee your pants in private every day for the rest of your life?
So one public pooping of the pants or
Like once a year.
every single day.
Every single day. I peed myself.
But it's in private.
But it's in private.
I would have. I just could not deal with the embarrassment of having that. That is just not me. I couldn't be known for that. I would have to privately pee myself every day.
It's not a lot of us. I don't think there's a guy out there going, actually, that's totally me. I'm the poop your pants guy in public, right? It's not. It may not be Kirby, but it's most certainly me.
Well,
It's just if somebody said, "Oh, did you see Kirby yesterday on Osborne? She just crapped herself in traffic." Like, I would be mortified.
that's a pretty narcissistic view that everybody's going to recognize you on Osborne. Couldn't it be just maybe, wow, I dated
pictured
this
the
girl
scene.
once, but once a year she would never see me because she pooped her pants in public.
I picture the scene for Bridesmaid, it's where Kristen Wiig is running in traffic to go to the bathroom, and then
Yes.
she just accepts her fate.
Joe?
So you're going to pee in private?
I'm just gonna
Every
pee in
day.
private every day.
Well, there is some. Isn't it called consternation or something? Like there's a
You
deal?
can-
No, I'm going to poop my pants once a year in public. Because, being outside doesn't mean I'm going to get recognized or anything. And you get to a stage in your life, there's a lot of chances that's going to happen depending on where you're eating, okay, as you get older.
I'm never going out to eat with you.
Well, yeah, peeing my pants at home all day sounds like a lot of fun. Oh, hey, how'd you get that rash? Well, it's urine every day.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
PJK Podcast Extra.
Are we going to play love or hate today?
Love or hate. And we'll be doing something different every day with the PJK Extra. And today it's something we came up with called Love or Hate. So we usually it'll be something that's been a topic on the program, and we'll expand upon it on the podcast with playing Love or Hate. And I think we've had so much hot dog conversation on the show lately that we should involve hot dogs in Love or Hate.
You got to start Kirby. She brought up the story to begin with about putting mayo on a hot dog, and it led into this.
Oh, the debates, the fighting,
That's just the latest from TikTok that's gone viral, is the fact that Costco is looking at adding some mayo to their lineup of condiments at their food court. But, I mean, do I love or hate hot dogs? Is that what you're asking?
No, hold up. We'll get to it in a second. First of all, I'll say I'm a non-mayo guy on a hot dog. It's not something I've even tried, but it would not be something I'd reach for when I'm making hot dogs. Just throwing it out there.
With you.
Yeah. Okay. Now, love or hate. We'll go back and forth on these different items are different ways of cooking a hot dog. Love or hate. Okay.
Okay.
So boiled hot dogs. So the boiled wiener. Love or hate. Joe.
Wow. Certainly old school. Grew up with a boiled hot dog. Didn't mind it then. A couple of years ago, was at a nephew's birthday party in a small town at the community hall, and the barbecue went. They had to boil the hot dogs. I'm not kidding. I had 2 of them. It was like old school. So I'm going to say, well, it's somewhere in the middle, but closer to love than hate.
Oh,
love.
I like that. Yeah. Kirby.
I'm just going to say hate. There's just something about just a bunch of wieners floating in the water.
Yeah.
As the water.
How about that hot dog, that water, the water that's left in the pot?
Everybody jokes about drinking that.
yeah.
Like, oh, no.
So you're going to go hate?
I'm going to go hate.
I'm going to go with the exact same answer Joe had. I wouldn't say I love them, but I like them.
Yeah. Closer to love.
Up next, a fried wiener. So in the pan.
That's the sexiest way to make a hot dog.
Is that the noise it makes when it's whistling in over there on the pan?
You gotta give it a slit there in the middle so it's nice and flat.
Why does that gross me out when you
the
say
Slit.
that?
That slit in the wing.
Oh boy! I'm telling you, on the front.
Why? It's making me uncomfortable.
Why does it have to be yolk? I can't. Oh, my eyes just crossed, and I think
I'm
a couple of my fillings just actually exploded.
That's free on the podcast this morning, by the way. Yeah. So double love. Joe and I love a fried. Sounds like we both love a fried wiener. Kirby,
A fried wiener.
Yeah.
I've never actually fried a wiener before, so I'm just gonna have to say, I don't know. I'm impartial.
okay. No,
I think I would like it though because of the crispiness.
Yeah, it's tasty.
Yeah. Okay.
Then why were you screaming a minute ago? That's how you fry
You
one.
kept saying
It was
the
the
word
slit. The slit. The fried.
Oh,
Cut that
sorry.
slit. Okay,
It's on
next.
the no-go zone.
I have a feeling this is going to be certainly Joe and I think, are going to be double hate on this one, but we'll see with Kirby. Microwaved wiener for a hot dog.
I cannot do that. No, that's hate.
You just shriveled up, and I'm hate too.
Yeah.
Curbs.
I actually like it. 'Cause
A microwave,
it bubbles it, you know? Like it gets the skin a little bit bubbled out. It's a
Okay.
bit rubbery.
That's my concern, the rubberness. But you like tofurkey. And
I like a bit
that's
of a
got a
chew.
rubber texture as well. You like it tasting like a shoe. We've learned that about you. Okay.
Wow.
Barbecued wiener.
Oh.
Love.
Double. I love a barbecue.
I
wiener.
I ate 8 of them one day at a remote.
Yeah, that's got to be some form of Winnipeg record. Obviously, it's not a...
No, it's not a Winnipeg record. There's guys that have eaten more hot dogs. But for me, it was a record.
8 is good.
That's peak. Yeah. I love barbecue.
Again with the slits,
Okay.
and then it's on the barbecue.
We're not slitting anything.
I'll tell you right now, a lot of times at these public barbecues, what happens? The barbecuer can sometimes misconnect with how many people are coming at one time to get a hot dog. So, sometimes the hot dog has to sit on the second tray.
Yeah.
The one up because it's been cooked for a while.
Yep.
I'm still having that one.
Oh, any
Barbecue.
You're not turning that down.
Not
of
at all.
course. And one little honorable mention, I haven't had an air fried wiener, but we do get text messages on the show that apparently it's really good. Have either of you tried that?
I have not, but I'd love it.
Not
fried's in it.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's fine. Anything. You can put it, let's be honest, you can chuck anything in the air fryer.
Yeah.
It's good, right?
I think we forgot one that just popped in my head,
Okay.
though. Campfire.
Oh, open fire.
Roasting a
fire.
wiener on a stick.
Love.
Yeah, I'd have to love it. I haven't had many of them because I'm not a camper. But yes, I would definitely love that.
Yeah.
Can I say something else? My mom used to do it. She used to own this steamer, and she'd steam the buns.
Oh, steamed buns are peak.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But could I borrow that? I've got a couple of suit jackets.
what?
I need to get the wrinkles out of.
I'll talk to Kathy. She might still have it. That's your PJK extra.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Phil, you're known to drop a K as a response in a text message. And somebody could write you a whole paragraph and you'd be like, K,
Yeah, I do some Ks. What else do I do?
the thumbs up.
Thumbs up means end a convo. Wrap it up. Done. Boom.
But aside from
Wait.
those two responses,
Sorry, just a second. What about now? You can hold your thumb on what the person just said and hit that thumb.
I didn't know that.
Is that you didn't know? That's even that even a more disrespectful thumb? You're
Yes.
not even putting the emoji
that's a
thumb.
next. Yeah, that's like
One
low
step.
level.
I still don't get the K. Okay, can't be that hard. Now it's just K.
I'm busy. Okay, so I drop a K in there.
What do you think is also like a terrible response?
I got to pick up my
Like
phone.
what's
this
a bad
conversation.
one word text message that's the worst to receive?
One word?
Yeah. Because for me, I always think hey. Because hey, you never know what the person wants.
Someone responds to you with hey?
Well, no, just
You're
like
reaching out. Hey.
if you just get a one word text and it says hey,
Well, I assume
you
it's
don't know what
spam.
kind of thing you're getting in yourself into.
That's the spammers. You get hey.
I
Well,
think I'm
no,
okay
if it comes
with
from
hey.
a contact.
Somebody I think hey's okay because it's like hey. I think it's how you read it.
Hey, what? Hey, do you
Hey,
need something?
no.
Hey, do you want to talk to me?
Yes.
Hey,
You there?
Well, it would usually be followed, I would hope, by hey, you want to go for lunch?
Just
Not
because
just rando hey.
Just because somebody from a different prefix yesterday said, "Hey, Aaron," Are we golfing today? I didn't respond. I didn't take a chance. But I think hay's okay.
Well, apparently, according to this new I don't know if it's research, but the Huffington Post says that the worst one-word text message that you can send or receive is sure. Just sure.
What if you put an exclamation point there? Is that okay? Sure. Like I'm sure.
Well, but
excited,
if you put exclamation mark, that gives it away.
Yes,
that tells you you're
it
okay.
It can't have any punctuation. It just
No punctuation.
the word sure.
Because here's the deal: the longer you write the text, and then you get sure as a response, is usually right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're like, okay, let's do this. Bop, 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 bop. Sure. So does it mean sure, as in yes?
Sure, like Philly was saying with sure I'll do that or
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm looking through my texting and I see a lot of sounds good. I reply a lot.
I don't
Perfect.
think you use a lot of
Sounds
words. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think many people have had long text messaging with Phil.
No,
I keep it tight.
sounds good.
Thumbs up.
But
Kate.
sure can be read three different ways, I think, right? Like sure with the excitement, sure, as in like that's your choice and I'll cave and do that. And then
I'm not pumped, but
sure,
okay.
Yeah, like just okay.
Like if somebody
sure.
told me sure, don't bring that sure kind of attitude, let's just not do it then. Because I need somebody who's
So don't respond. If you're gonna, if sure is all I got, you don't even want to respond.
I gotta be honest, for somebody who's supposed to be positive all the time, you're very negative with all the well, before you call me.
what are you talking about?
Well,
I'm negative.
Listen, you are. Your glass half empty. Think about this. Just hear me out for a second.
Okay, I'm hearing you.
Go get her, Joe. Go get her. Come on.
No, but the person that says to us all the time, oh, no, you got to text me before you call me. Okay, so if I said, hey, wow, what the hell does hey mean? Like, it just means are you around? Like you're reading a negative into hey.
Type more than just hey.
Why?
Because I need to know what you need from me.
Hey, do you have a minute to talk? Is that
See?
better?
Yes, then at least I know what I'm getting myself prepared for.
What else would hey mean? Like, go ahead and tell me.
This is the Philly, Joe, and Kirby podcast.
Bone phone coming up in 10 minutes. Some advice for Kirby on starting her bike riding career that she seemed so interested in yesterday.
Yeah, so interested.
Just how to get started is what, and what kind of clothes you'll have to wear. What kind of like a good starter bike it sounds like on there. Where you should, your first experiences with cycling, where that should happen. It's all kind of in
a parking lot.
The one thing is and you really do have to be careful now, especially because a lot of the kids in the residential areas got their bikes out. But I still find it I could never wear one of those bike outfits, even if I tried. I don't think
Tour de France.
I couldn't even get in one. I'm just talking about trying to get in one physically. Never mind wearing one. But the funny thing is, there's certain people.
I would love to watch you try that on.
Listen, the talk is about you getting a bike, not me. Remember that. I'm at least admitting the fact that that's not happening. All I'm saying is, if you're driving and you see like a crew of guys wearing the gear, you look sometimes and go, oh man, that looks like a professional racing team.
Yeah, they got the helmets.
100%. And then there's a few people, I put them more in the novice category or my category, and they're wearing those outfits. And I'm going, like, maybe we needed to start just a little slower, like just with the bike, get a high-end bike, because they are very high-end bikes, like lighter weight and everything else, and then look at the outfits.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
And you always tell me, Joe, that I jump in too fast.
Oh, there's
to
no,
things.
I don't care where you're staying and there's a pool, there is no shallow end with you.
Just
You're
a
just
cannonball.
diving right into
Just
the
a
deep end.
cannonball. Let's go.
There's everybody
That's your life.
sitting around the pool, or you're in the shallow end and all of a sudden this big splash comes in, you're going, oh, that's the lady over there that went right into
That's
the deep
how
end.
I live my life.
I love it.
I'm all in.
But
I love it.
But don't go. No, you don't have to do the Tour de France outfit.
No.
Like you don't. You're not hardcore enough. And honestly,
I don't want to look like that either
No.
because I don't want to be confused.
it's not who you are.
I don't want people to start asking me
Can I
to
just
join
say,
cycle clubs.
I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit with this. Yesterday, you said it's not really my vibe cycling. I think it would suit you buzzing around St. B on like a really. You see these bikes, like especially in Osborne Village, like banana seats, like kind of cool looking bikes.
I would need a nice basket.
Like
the accessories would be key. I want the things, the streamers coming out of the handles.
Yes, I could see this.
I want the beads on the. What are the thingies?
Like a purple bike or a yellow bike and
purple.
Kirby with the bell and and then the basket with the groceries and the helmet. You could I could see you with some like fashionable helmet. So don't rule this out yet.
Okay, but like I'm gonna be honest. Can I drive on the sidewalks?
In St. B, there's a high pedestrian. There's a lot of pedestrian traffic. You might get the stink
didn't
eye.
Didn't they just keep traffic to a halt for about 2 years there, building that bike lane on what street is it? The one way.
Yeah.
Goulet?
It's not done yet.
It's not done. So right on the sidewalk. Hey,
2028.
You're a free spirit. You do whatever you want. Be you. You get a bike, be you.
But what happens? Will I get a ticket? Like, do they ticket people for riding on the sidewalk?
In Osborne Village every now and then, but I don't. I think it's a higher likelihood someone's gonna act annoyed that you got your bike on the sidewalk.
Nobody wants me on the road. Like
I think,
I would be. That would be a major issue if I was on the road.
Well, if you get a bell, you just ring, ring as you go
and I gotta
by.
learn the signals.
Little horn.
The hand signals.
Oh, that's easy. There's only 3 of them.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Now, bike riding advice for Kirby, who's seriously considering getting yourself a bike and riding around St. B.
Hey, Kirby. Yeah, if you want to get into bike riding, first thing, if you want to rent a bike, I believe White Pine Bikes rents bikes. They're on a couple locations, if I remember correctly, but one location is right on Portage, right across from the entrance to the Assiniboine Park. Mm-hmm. And then maybe that place at Assiniboine Park it's called Bike Together. They might rent 2-wheel bikes too there. I can't remember. And as far as roads are concerned, once you get into it, you can find a lot of trails and low traffic streets that you can go down.
Trails?
Therefore, you don't really have to get into really heavy traffic for the most part.
No heavy traffic, no.
And as far as biking attire, keep it really simple. Just a pair of shorts, t-shirts, runners or whatever.
Runners. No Tour
no
de France.
heels.
Oh, sorry,
okay.
You got the shorts on today, but sandals. You're not flying. Those things will be flying on the St. B. Like, what happened? I just got hit by a flip-flop.
For more Philly Joe and Kirby, lock it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.